Hi, this is Dr. Pierre Milo speaking again, narrating my book, Rising from the Ashes of Loss My Voyage Through Grief. Post number 21, post number 29, that is, part 1. More chemotherapy. Oh man. Not long after the second chelation treatment was over, tragedy struck again, and this time it meant business. Ascites were accumulating in her tummy like there was no tomorrow. Ascites is a gastroenterological accumulation of fluid in the peritoneal cavity. It is a viscous fluid produced by the body to help internal organs slide smoothly on each other, so to speak. The body normally processes and excretes this fluid out of the body by natural means. But sometimes, due to diseases such as liver cirrhosis or cancer, the fluid is not eliminated properly and thus accumulates in the interspaces between the internal organs. The stomach area then swells up progressively, causing a lot of pain and discomfort. If Louise thought she was afraid of needles before, she hadn't seen anything yet. Her condition worsened so quickly that we could not wait for her next appointment with the gynecologist, and we had to rush to the Cornwalls Hospital emergency to have this monster looked after. The wait was short, thank God, and after a quick x-ray of her stomach, the doctor on duty made his diagnostic and arranged to have the fluids removed as soon as possible. A specialist was needed for this sort of process, and they had to fetch one from somewhere in the hospital. Meanwhile, Louise was moved into a small room as the assisting staff prepared her for the procedure. It is then that I saw it lying on the table by Louise's side. My gosh, a long and huge curved syringe that looked more like a long, narrow siphon, which is what it was actually. It was frightening to look at, and in horror, I could only guess what it was for. I can still hear her screams coming out through the closed door as they were inserting, twisting, and poking that horrible beast inside her stomach in search of the unwanted fluids. Sorry, but this had to be done. No choice and no other way. It had to be sucked out. The sweating bullets doctor said later on when it was over. This moment in time will forever be imprinted in my memory, and I wonder if one day I'll be able to recapture it without sorrow and resentment. Still hurts. Time heals all wounds, they say, and I pray it's true for my own well-being. This liquid will come back as it is due to her cancer, and this procedure will have to be repeated, the doctor said. Huh. But we are not equipped here to do this on a regular basis. Thank God. So you'll have to see your gynecologist for advice. So here we go again in a panic, and our tails between our legs en route for the cancer center to visit our not so much our buddy anymore, Dr. F, the gynecologist, to see what the hell can be done about this situation. As we were waiting nervously, he entered the room swiftly. I thought he had a smirk on his face. That may be just me. Sat on a stool while reading from a bunch of papers he was holding in one hand, and mechanically asked Louise to lie down on the examination table. I guess his request must have been just for the show, for his exam merely consisted of putting his free hand on her stomach while looking at her and saying condescendingly, "Mrs. Milo, when will you understand that this is not going away?" And if I could have read his mind, I'm sure I could have said something like, "Can't you get it into your thick skull that you're going to die? It's not going away." Well, excuse me for wanting to live, you SOB. What did you think I would do? Lie down and die? Just like that? Don't I have the right to at least try everything I can to beat this? A teary-eyed Louise later admitted to thinking at that moment it was too polite to say it. Maybe she should have. As a last result, he ordered more chemo. How original. The only intervention possible at this advanced stage, according to him. This is meant to make you more comfortable. You must recognize, not heal you, he said to Louise. When I brought up immunotherapy to his attention as a possible treatment option, he snuffed my comment and brushed it off immediately, saying he didn't know anything about it. Well, I answered in rebuke, in an effort to stab back at him. You should visit the Canadian Cancer Society website. Maybe you would learn a thing or two about it. My feeble retort, I have to admit, did not even make a dent in his stick hide. But at least it made me feel a tiny bit better. 1 for me, 12 for him. Why is it that conventional medicine operates with visitors and only considers chemotherapy as its sole weapon when it comes to cancer? It seems that it's the only therapy they know or want to know. I've been told over and over again by critics of modern medicine that the almighty dollar motivates its actions. The humongous money-making pharmaceutical industry is behind all research in that field and lobbies massively to the government to keep it all away. Even though I'm not a strong believer in conspiracy theories, I sometimes wonder about the veracity of these sayings. There are more numerous other fields in which research could be done. Alternative medicine, immunotherapy, for instance, nutrition, and especially psychosomatics, which promote the concept that our emotions could be responsible for our physical demise or well-being. Here's a thought. Why not investigate there for a change? But no, these natural approaches do not bring in enough bacon to the massive money-making pharmaceutical industry and are therefore of no interest, are slipped under the carpet and forgotten in file number 13. I have, for one, decided to put a hold on my donations to cancer research until I see a serious change of attitude in that field. End of post, part 1.